whenever
We
watching
need
this
more
movie.
horror.
So, like I was saying, the Wolverine, the Long Trail podcast, it's basically analog horror. It's everyone point of view, hearing Wolverine sightings, all this weird, crazy until you actually meet
Yes,
Wolverine.
I am aware. I'm aware of that. But I feel like with this comic, it has such a great premise to delve into that horror element more, and I feel like it's not there because like what Ultimate X-Men is doing with its horror is different because of the specific genre that I think it's playing into. But with this one, you could give it from like the perspective of the side characters, like Wolverine, like that Wolverine podcast. And I think it would work better. Like it would work just as great, if not better, and it would be different than a lot of other Wolverine books because a lot of these Wolverine books just feel the same to me. That's why I think Wolverine, like Ultimate Winter Soldier or Ultimate Wolverine or whatever the fuck, it just feels bland compared to everything else because it's stuff that we already have. Like if I wanted to read a story, like a
moral of the story, we call you the
I
Wolverine
would go
diet
read Weapon
audience.
X.
You know,
That's the same thing with Black Panther.
I'm not reading Black Panther, so I can't.
I know, but that's my
Mm-hmm.
reason to say Black Panther was the most bland. I guess it's more like Wolverine is more what I expected, but with Black Panther, in the universe, you expected a lot of change, but it's basically the same
Goes out
stuff.
the
But I
way.
think that would piss me off, if that makes sense.
I don't know. I guess we're just gonna have to see with
Yeah.
Ultimate Wolverine, but it's just like and plus keep in mind, in both Ultimates and Ultimate X-Men just proved that we didn't need Logan here. Like we didn't need Logan. We saw Logan's adamantium skeleton in Ultimate, and then we have Akihiro here in Ultimate X-Men, which I don't even know what the fuck's happening with him at this point. But we're figuring it out slowly.
It sounds more like you just don't like Wolverine.
I have a lot of personal feelings about Wolverine, but it's like reading this book, I'm just kind of bored. I'm bored. That's I'm just bored.
All right.
Yeah, you might just do better to drop it in.
I don't know. I'm still playing out hopes for specific characters.
We'll let you know if a specific character pops up, definitely. So, all right, you guys. Now that we got giggles out of the way, you want to get started?
Sure.
Fuck Tom King.
Fuck Tom King.
All right.
Fuck James Gunn too.
Kenny.
No good.
In fact, go to the first thing. What's the first thing?
Yeah.
We didn't take
No, hey, we have to do it. We got to do our intro, man. Okay.
No intro today.
Welcome to Comic Fanatic Live, the news reviews of the week audience. You're here with me, Crypto Secret 415. Intros are for Tuesdays. There.
You're with.
You say that as you give an intro. Just let's get started.
Yeah. What if as we did the topics, we introduced each other?
You want me to do the socials now, or do you want me to wait till later?
Yeah, do the socials. Just go straight to socials.
Okay, well, we'll introduce ourselves as we talk about things. First of all, subscribe to us because we're waiting to get to 100 subscribers before we do anything really cool. You have to wait and see for that. You can also follow us on our Twitter at Phanatics69. Remember, with a PH, not a F. You can also follow me on my Twitter at Witch of Jotun with an E instead of a U, because why not? You can also follow me on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitch whenever I decide to stream on Twitch at witch_of_Jotunheim. You know, same as always. You can follow me on Tumblr and Blue Sky at North Star Aria whenever I decide to post on there. You can also follow me on Rednote/Xiaohongshu at Witch of Jotun. And then if you want to support me financially, or just see some cool work in progress shit, you can follow me on my Ko-Fi at Witch of Jotunheim. Everyone else is doing their thing. I don't know what the fuck Jake's doing in the multiverse. Yeah, let's get started. Cryptid already did his intro. He doesn't get to introduce himself again.
Is this MCU John Walker news for the first one? So I'll do that one.
Introduce yourself.
Yes. Hello. I'm Jake Talano. Hi, Jake. Yes, I'm here to introduce the John Walker topic of tonight.
Hey, I'm the one doing that, man.
It's MCU John Walker. You can't you can't dick ride MCU John Walker when I was the one doing it first. Okay, you have comic book one. You go over there. Okay,
it's true.
Anyway,
it's true. I'm sorry.
Wyatt Russell hints at a new John Walker in Avengers Doomsday. He evolves like a Pokemon. Okay,
Okay. I don't know what to say about that. What more do we have to say about this? We don't know anything about Doomsday. This movie's going to be 10 hours long at this point with the amount of shit that they're leaking or like the rumors for it.
Hey guys. All right. Sorry, I lost signal for a sec. So, all right. Cool.
I already introduced
We're talking about John Walker.
I gotta tell you, he's still a douchebag.
As I was saying, as I was saying to Jake, I go through the trenches with John Walker in every department.
No, but I went through the trenches with you.
Wait. Are you a friend of Red Guardian?
What the fuck's that supposed to mean?
Are you a fan of Red Guardian?
Not really.
Okay, never mind.
Kind of asshole too.
Thank you. That's all.
And
That's
I
all.
I get annoyed as hell when every time Marvel tries to pretend that he's a good father, and it's like, no,
Thank you.
A shitty father.
I just wanted to make sure you're consistent. Okay, it's been annoying me seeing people love Red Guardian, and then mad.
Red Guardian.
Huh?
Out of everyone in this cast, I like the girlies minus Valentina and Bob.
Mm-hmm. To be fair,
I supported MCU John Walker when you didn't support MCU John Walker. So I
I had my dropping the shield moment. All right, I'll at least admit that. I picked that shield back up, Jake. You know, so
I was holding it for you.
Okay, but yeah. Anyway, so Wyatt Russell hints at we might get a new version of John Walker, and by the time Doomsday approaches, to fit in line, because he's gone through some character progression in his two adaptations between Falcon Winter Soldier, and where I guess the best way to clarify his character is a broken hero, but then you have Thunderbolts,
and also a divorced man with no kids anymore because he's the father that stepped down.
Well, no, that's not the Falcon Winter Soldier.
Yeah, at least he didn't steal his kid.
Yeah.
God forbid he look at his phone while his kid is not really crying in front of him.
Mm-hmm. But then we have the Thunderbolts version where, let's see, best way to categorize him. He's a douchebag. He's a douchebag, yes, but guess what? He has the fists to back it up. You know.
To be a douchebag.
Yeah, he was a right along.
Literally, everybody in the movie being an asshole.
Yes, dude, when
he deserves to get his ass beat. I'm sorry.
Dude, when Yelena
could ship him with whoever they want, but I still think he's the worst person. He should be shipped with Red Guardian because they could be assholes together.
Worst.
But I mean, look, when Yelena was ranting at everybody,
the guy who's just kind of meaning to people is the asshole, not the people who actually kill children. You know, they're safe. I love them because they're funny.
Oh yeah, that's true. I mean, hey, remember when Yelena was roasting everybody, going nonstop? John Walker was the only one there trying to defuse the situation. What does Yelena do? She just insults him.
Yo, Walker's reaction was Jesus.
Still, okay. Shout out to my friend who might be guesting on the podcast later. Maybe we'll discuss this later. Not important to you, the audience. Literally, he was telling me that practically all the fans of John Walker are Nazis, and then this one girl was like,
"Oh, what the fuck?
Racist
You're calling me and Jake a Nazi?"
No, you know what? I'm gonna let him come on the podcast to defend himself there because,
no.
Keep in mind, what was funny
our longtime friend
called. Let me finish, please. Let me finish my thing. What was funny about that was not what he said, was what the response of another person who probably was a Nazi said afterwards. I'm not going to get into it, but I'll let him come on the podcast to defend himself on this. I'm doing it. Because he wants to talk about Wonder Woman.
Okay, we're not talking about Wonder Woman.
I said next week.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Cryptic gave me the okay. Cryptic gave me the okay on it.
Okay, we'll talk about this after the show. But all right. So going back to the John Walker topic, what are we going to expect from him from Doomsday? All roads lead back to the Shield situation with him because I don't see a possible way to make him look respectable in Doomsday with the way his shield is presented at this point. Because what's he going to do? You kind of look stupid. you kind of look
Just be a badass.
stupid wanting to keep this shield around, dude. Like, come on.
That's fine, but it's the internet. The internet lives for hype moments and aura. The moment he just does something badass, everybody's like, "Oh my god, greatest shield!" Don't write memes about it. You'll see people do fan edits about it. Look at this one action scene where he beats the dog shit out of somebody with the shield.
In Thunderbolts, they did like a Time magazine article about his fucking shield.
Why?
Yeah,
He's gonna get one good scene, assuming he doesn't get that shield fixed. He's gonna get one good scene with that shield, and everyone's gonna make some edits about it. Like, yeah, talk bad about John Walker. They're gonna do like fucking hype edits for it.
I have not seen an edit on shield. I've seen an edit of
Because
him.
he hasn't done anything with it.
On a shield.
I'm saying that shield is not the end all be all. I'm more interested into where his character's gonna be, because that's what I liked about John.
Imagine he just died.
I like.
They're not going to Taskmaster him up, because guess what? Unlike Taskmaster, John Walker has a fan base at this point. People seem to like his character now that after Thunderbolts.
Also, if you were a real fan and you understood the character from the first time he appeared, I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm.
But
Jake, you're seriously saying you're an OG John Walker fan?
I'm an OG MCU John Walker fan because I liked him because he's the Captain America that fell, and I thought that was cool. I like that Sam was the natural next step, but John was the one that tried and fell. I thought that was a really interesting dynamic. I like, again, because that was what they were doing with Captain America. Is like every Captain America is different from the other. Like from Isaiah to Steve to John to Sam, like they're all different. And so that John's arc was like he's the one that like tried and failed. He's what could have been.
All right.
We're not getting Hydra Cap. That's all I'm asking for.
All right.
His actual fans are Nazis, like full on.
We might get Hydra Cap. It's not off the table. Which
no, because if anyone likes Hydra Cap, I'm just going to assume that you're a Nazi more than I think.
Well,
I'm just going to think you're an asshole.
And
if you like
in
John
the beginning,
Walker. But
in the beginning, I like.
If you like Hydra Cap, I'm going to call you a Nazi.
Well, in the beginning, I like.
You like a villain.
He's not a villain. He's the worst. There's a difference.
Yeah, a villain.
The worst.
Which you do realize
my villain to be bad.
I don't need to hear it. I'm just saying my point. Because
you do realize Hydra Cap hates Nazis, right?
Bitch, he's still a Nazi, bitch. Like if you're a part of Hydra, you're like automatically a Nazi.
I mean that was his whole.
I don't care.
That was literally explained in his origin.
Well, you don't have to care. Just like you have your point, everyone else can meet theirs.
Still, what the fuck is like Wyatt Russell's over here being like, oh, you're gonna see a new version of him. What's that version? Who the fuck knows? We're not gonna know until we get his 5-second screen time in Doomsday, which is I already know I'm gonna probably be annoyed by. Besides like one or two scenes.
That's also another thing I want to bring up because I don't think Wyatt Russell was given the full script of the movie, so that kind of leads me to believe that he's not going to have that much of a role in Doomsday.
Of course he's not.
Of course he's not.
I think he and Thunderbolts are gonna have. I think that's that.
There's 3 universes about to collide. You think we're gonna trust John Walker to be the main star? He's gonna figure it out.
It's gonna be like if it's like anything like Infinity War, they're gonna have a moment where like you can appreciate that they did the thing. And then we can move on. That's kind of what Infinity War was. Like, like for instance, like only what was it, 3-4 of the Guardians really had a moment, but each of them had like you remember them for something. You remembered all the Guardians for something, even if only Quill, Nebula.
You remember Drax for shit jokes.
Yeah. Well, no, actually, Drax jokes are funny. The Invisible joke is still funny. I love it. But I remember all the Guardians and what they did in that film, even if only some of them were character related. So you can do that with with the Avengers cast.
In a movie where the guy who murdered this man's family, and he finally come contact them, and your biggest moment is a joke. Yes, it is bad.
Yeah, but I still like the joke, so it doesn't matter. My point is that they know they can make the characters memorable without giving them the most emotional thing to do. That's my point. But
I'm saying there's too many characters already announced, and I think I heard there was going to be more characters announced, and I'm just like, there's too many characters.
They wouldn't reveal every character that's going to be popping up in this movie. Of course, they're going to keep.
They literally, yes, they will. They usually literally did it for Infinity War.
Yeah, no. I mean, was anybody expecting Red Skull to pop up in Infinity War? That was a surprise,
Yeah, but he only showed up for like 2 seconds.
But he did.
We're not talking about cameos. We're talking about the actual characters.
But even that, even with the Red Skull thing, he did something memorable. Like they don't all have to be main characters. That's not how
we
even if
get it.
No, what? No,
We get it.
What are you talking about? I'm talking to them because which is the one arguing. But
and which heard it.
So I don't think that John Walker is going to have a major role. There's like a 50-50 chance he's going to die in this movie.
I'm pretty
You're
sure.
just saying that because you doesn't like him. His chance of dying are very low.
Who the fuck knows what's
Yeah,
going to happen? They might
No, let me phrase that with you. That's rude to me. His chance of dying alone is low. Unless the whole universe dies, he's probably not going to die.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure we're still going to see U.S. Agent continue across the board after this movie because, like, we still haven't seen his alternate costume, like, the American Zealous costume, So
I have to ask.
We're probably not going to see that. We don't see every costume with every character.
Go ahead, Witch. You were
Who
saying
do you
something?
think is going to die in this movie, hypothetically?
Everybody, except for
Magneto,
the Phantom 4 and
Magneto,
Doom and like 3 other people.
Yeah.
All the X-Men are going to die.
And then we're going to get variants of them popping up. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's literally just going to be time runs out where everything dies and the only people that live are the people in the lifeboat. And then they go to the next world, will be Battle World, where Secret Wars happen.
Yep. That's the way it is, Hey, I'm still pretty in a comfortable spot to know that the MCU is probably going to continue.
Think about the Justice League Dark Apocalypse bullshit. Remember that movie where they killed everybody off and they're like, "Oh, you're going to restart it." It's basically that. That's literally basically what's going to happen.
Do you think we're going to get anything on the Eternals in this movie since they're bringing everyone?
No. Yes.
No.
I don't. If it's not for Doomsday, then definitely Secret Wars. But who knows?
I think it's less likely to see them for Secret Wars since that's going to be them. That's going to be like the special cameo stuff, all those different worlds being together and stuff. I doubt they'll try to do Eternals for that. I think you can see Eternals for this.
Because we were just
only
left
just getting their take on it.
We were left on a cliffhanger.
Marvel had a lot of cliffhangers they need to finish upon. So yeah. But anyway, I think we spoke enough about this topic. Unless you guys have any final thoughts on this.
I'm excited for the next topic only because I get to say "fuck you, Tom King." So move on.
Okay, save the F words for when we get to the next topic. So.
Oh yeah,
right.
wait. Shang-Chi actor confirmed that he finished filming for the film.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, until Marvel calls him back to do reshoots. Yeah.
I doubt he's getting reshoots. I think it gets confirmed his role is small.
Yeah. And Marvel just wants to go the safe route with characters that,
That's it. I think if you're not important and you can't figure out how to stop being encouraging, you're probably not going to be a main character.
Yeah.
That's why I think we're going to follow Beast and the X-Men, them trying to figure out how to stop it, Phantom 4 trying to stop it, and then...
Because keep in mind, we don't know what's happening in the movie. No one knows. It's very secretive for a reason.
I doubt it. With all the leaks we keep getting, I'm starting to believe a lot of shit.
Do you think Shang-Chi's gonna in Doomsday? Are they gonna follow up on his end credits? Remember the cliffhanger with what's
stop
the name?
Talking about cliffhanger. This shit does not matter.
Bro, that's why
we're literally about to do a soft reboot. Leave this shit alone.
We know that they're keeping this shit secretive. Remember Infinity War and Endgame? They're keeping this shit secretive.
Yeah, all the leaks about Infinity War is pretty much real though.
Besides, maybe like one or two.
Gotcha.
The problem with the leaks is they filmed a lot of fake scenes, so we didn't know which part of the leaks real, but most of them was confirmed.
Gotcha. All right. But regardless, guys, you guys want to move on to the next one now?
Please.
Okay, let's move on to the next one. All right, Witch, go ahead.
Isn't that which topic?
Go ahead, Austin.
This is bad. Oh, no. Fuck you. Y'all don't even know me. Anyway, Tom King's being able to make his Mr.Miracle show. This is bad.
Couldn't have gotten anyone
else. No, let me rephrase that.
Okay, go ahead.
Tom King's Miracle Man is a great run. The problem is what it does for the lore of a lot of characters, and James Gunn is how much he's hyping Tom King. and he already confirmed that Tom King's going to be involved in Wonder Woman stuff. He's a big Tom King raider, so he's going all in on Tom King.
Look, I think
with all the Wonder Woman announcement stuff, this is very concerning.
Look, I'm confident in Tom King handling Mr. Miracle because, like Austin stated, it was a well-received run at least. So he'll
Other than what he did with the New Gods, it's a damn near like I'll give it an 8 out of 10 run.
Okay, he'll cherry pick the good stuff from his runs, hopefully, in this adaptation. I mean, how many people are aware of Mr. Miracle to begin with? Let's be honest. You know, at the end of the day.
I have more faith.
To be fair, he's in most cartoons.
Than any Wonder Woman property that has Tom King tied to it.
Well, so too bad he's in it to the movie.
Well, you know,
it would be bad if Tom King's working on it.
If Tom King's working on Wonder Woman, then you know he's going to He's going to want Wonder Woman to be like his wife because that apparently.
Not only that, he's probably going to do Trinity.
Oh, that's even worse.
There we go.
Don't forget, this Superman is 3 years in, but his Batman is late. It is his fucking rope.
Kill me now. Just shoot me in the face.
You don't want to see the scene where Trinity beats up 3 speedsters like it was nothing?
You don't want to see Trinity wear Robin's outfit for no reason?
I don't want his greasy. I'm doing this for my Wonder Woman girlies and gays, okay? I trust them more than I trust a lot of other people, okay? But when they tell me that that Tom King's run is one of the most god-awful things ever, I believe...
Can you tell them to stop trying to erase Steve Trevor?
I'm not saying...
yeah.
God look. It's fine if you don't want to be gay. All that's fine. But Steve Trevor was the inverse of the whole trope of how women were swarming over men and all that. He was meant to be the reverse of that for Wonder Woman. So it meant a lot to early runs. So it's weird to see people all keep trying to throw him away.
Writing Steve Trevor and Wonder Woman's relationship is what people have the problem with.
No, I agree.
You tell that to them.
But I just seen. I did. I made a post. People hated it.
Mm-hmm. To be honest, like my favorite version of Steve Trevor was actually in DC Superhero Girls, like where
Steve Trevor is the first male hero to swoon and pass out from seeing a female hero. That was the reaction of me, Wonder Woman. He passed out. That's how hot she was.
Who wouldn't? It's Wonder Woman.
You see a goddess in front of you for the first time, Austin. Think of it that way, you know?
She ain't all that. She got broad shoulders.
She was at the time. Hey, she was at the time of World War II, after all.
She ain't Bertha.
Okay? She still beat out for an OG female superhero. She did get beat out though by a couple.
But now, what I liked about Steve Trevor and DC Superhero Girls was that, like, what I liked about Steve Trevor and DC Superhero Girls was, like, you know, Wonder Woman, you know, she was training for 300 years by the Amazons in how to deal with everything, right? From fights, the strategies, the people skills. And unfortunately, they forgot to teach her how to talk to a crush, because every time she sees Steve Trevor, she's like googly-eyed, clumsy, she's spellbound.
The Amazons don't have crushes.
Yeah, that's one thing the Amazons didn't count on.
People got to remember. The people got to remember. I know it's a recent thing where there have been like lesbian Amazon stuff. Before this, they were sisters. It was a sisterhood.
Ooh.
They're raised together from children as sisters. They're not Barry Allen and Iris West.
Right.
I get that. There's stuff like that now, but that's how originally it was. So that's why Wonder Woman isn't
DC
like
does
that.
Reboots. I don't understand like half the shit that they do for reboots.
Yeah, I'm saying with reboots and stuff, that stuff's been changed, but that's how it originally was. The people who didn't know.
Which, do you know how many times they changed with who, quote unquote, is Wonder Woman's dad in the comics? Like, you know, hey, it could be. At one point it's Hades. At the other point it's Zeus. At the other point it's someone else. You know, so.
To be honest with you, Hades makes no sense to be Diana's dad, but Zeus makes 100,000% sense.
Oh yeah.
You want to know why? Because that man can't keep it in his pants to save his life.
Yeah, but that also downgrades Wonder Woman's mom, though.
Yeah, it does. No.
At least with Hades, you can it could be one of those toxic things where he was faking being a good person.
Mm-hmm.
Then he got the kid and then became an asshole, or revealed he was an asshole.
Gotcha.
Dating
Out of all
Zeus
the
is like
gods, he's one of the more chill ones.
imagine like you knowing who Zeus is and dating Zeus is like way worse than me to date. Like being tricked into
Oh
dating
god.
Hades, in my opinion.
Oh. Which is kind of ironic because, like, if you brush yourself on Greek mythology, right? Hades ain't that much of a bad guy, at least
Yeah,
He
compared to
isn't.
Zeus.
it really
Hades
is
isn't
slanderous.
that bad. Like the worst thing
Yeah,
that he did was kidnap Persephone, which compared
but
to half the shit that the other gods have done is not nearly as
yeah,
bad.
That even
and to be
depends too,
to,
And
depending
plus, like
on
they're in a
the
happy
virgin you read.
relationship and everything.
which to
Yeah, I would say
which to
depending
be
on virgin reads, he was either given to him or he took her. So you can even
which
like talk. You can even debate that.
Yeah, which to be fair, the situation with Hades and Persephone's was involving Aphrodite because she wanted love to be even in the underworld. So
Yeah,
she had
And
Cupid
also,
shoot an arrow
Hades,
at Hades, and
Hades
he saw
literally went
Persephone.
to Zeus and was like, "Hey, can I marry Persephone?" And he was like, "Yeah, why not? You
Yeah,
can marry my
yeah, that
daughter."
was after the Aphrodite thing.
Yeah,
yeah.
but
After
dude,
after he
Like,
like
it's
basically got
weird.
roofied.
Yeah,
After he
it's
got
weird.
roofied,
I
basically,
mean,
which
out of all of these pairings, that it turned out pretty well for them.
Yeah,
I mean, Hades was not a butthole to his wife.
I think that's my problem. Like with Wonder Woman. We're getting off topic.
Yeah,
Tom, so seeing Tom King get so much control and getting one of the first few shows coming out of coming out of this, and then all the other announcements I posted for you to see. It's
yeah.
like, bro, this is seeing how big and heavy is on him. I'm very scared to see how Tom King's influence get into a lot of stuff, especially the
Yeah.
crossover stuff they end up doing.
Yeah, James Gunn, dude. I want to defend you, man. I want to give your cinematic universe a chance, but like you're really making me question some of your decisions here, dude.
So we can all agree, in conclusion, fuck Tom King.
If this is isolated, then I'm down for it. If you're telling me
Yeah.
this is connected and you're taking the lore from that book and your new guy stuff and all this stuff, I'm not down for it. That's
Nah,
Fuck
I'm
Tom
expecting
King.
I'm expecting two things to come out to be part of this Mr. Miracle run, a project. One is poetry, and one dealing with unaliving yourself. Yeah, because that was a thing when Tom King's books for a while, audience.
Yeah, he loved depressed people and suicide. Even
Yes,
just look at Heroes in Crisis,
that
bro.
was yeah. It,
He
it was so
he wanted more of those heroes to kill themselves in that event.
yeah.
If
It
y'all
was
people didn't know.
it
I
was
can think of a
so
list of
repetitive.
characters that should.
Yeah, it was so repetitive, audience, of like, some of us were thinking, Tom King, is there somebody you want to talk to? I mean, this is a repeated thing you keep doing to a lot of male heroes, dude. Come on.
The only thing I hope will come out of this is look, so James Gunn also confirmed recently, like an hour or a few hours ago, that he was asked about the MCU and what he thinks, quote unquote, killed it. And he was saying it was a Disney mandate to force them to make more movies and TV shows and stuff.
hmm
Not Kevin Feige
I,
decision, not none of that stuff.
I think it
But
was because I think they also wanted to boost up like the popularity of the Disney Plus lineup. That's why they said like put
yeah, well,
more MCU
that's
content.
obvious. But we're just saying it was Disney's decision, not really
Yeah,
on Kevin Feige and Marvel's decision, like people usually say.
gotcha.
But
All right.
I hope they see what he's doing, at least animated wise, and
Mm-hmm.
take inspiration. Because the fact that the only animated thing we have going on right now was the Spider-Man show that's probably gonna come out every 3 to 4 years,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it'll usually
Yeah.
like how long cartoons take now.
Yeah.
And I think that's it. That's I think the only animated thing. Why can't we get
I think the only
anime
one.
shows based on actual runs?
We're still waiting
No,
on
I was
X-Men
thinking about
97.
Spidey and His Amazing Friends. That's the only
Well, we don't.
Marvel
I
stuff
don't
that's
count
taken
the
out of
Disney
the
XP
show.
shows. If you want to count them, we have
You're not
Spider-Man, we have
counting.
Iron Man show, and we have like 2 other hero shows.
You're not
Mm-hmm.
counting the Disney Junior show. We got the
Yeah. If you want to count them, we have
Kid
4 shows.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to count them, we have 4 shows. But like,
No,
it's still crazy to me that Marvel is selling these runs and they're doing numbers, but Disney don't want to make shows or movies or even just like this, just a show based on a run.
mm-hmm.
I would kill to watch like Tom King's Vision as much as I hate Tom King. Can
That's
you
the
imagine like
one
the
that's
Mortal
gonna.
Full
Oh,
Adult
we're
Swim
getting
show?
Gunn's universe.
Oh, we're getting Tom King's Vision audience. I guarantee you that.
You know
at
who I
some
want to
point.
see out of this whole DC universe by James Gunn? Do me justice because of that awful casting and the cancellation. Give me a Wonder Twins TV show, animated TV show.
Bro, he can't even get at the authority. He announced them first.
And I will be fine.
You'll settle for them being in Peacemaker season 3, and you'll wipe it, witch.
No, I won't, because that casting for their movie was awful. It was awful.
Mm-hmm.
You're telling me you got Mr. Riverdale to be Zan? Fuck that. Get that shit out of my face. I'm glad the movie got canceled, but I want an animated show. Because that's the only way it would make sense for me in my mind.
Right. Okay. But anyway, guys, I think we spoke enough about this unless you have any final thoughts, Austin.
Fuck Tom.
No, I was just saying, man, I would have killed for a Mortal Hulk, like, adult anime show on Marvel.
Oh.
Some of these groundbreaking runs that would have been amazing to see animated.
I would like to see Rachel Pollack's Doom Patrol get animated. I think that would be cool.
It'll be
at least they got a good live action show. That's still probably the best.
I will get
that's probably the best superhero show I've ever seen.
It's really good.
Keep in mind, you'll get a James Gunn version of Doom Patrol if that happens. You know.
Never mind. You know, you can look on this topic. We're good.
Yeah, let's go to the next topic.
All right.
We'll talk about what we want.
Okay, so
I guess I'll do this because I saw this on Twitter. We're not getting Ms. Marvel season 2 because they hate us.
Nah.
Yeah, they hate us.
I think the same problem.
To win. They don't want a young Desi girl to win.
No, I think it's more. I won't say it because of even the Marvels. I think it's because they're doing the same thing to Sam, where it's like, we had a TV show and now you have a movie. You're probably not going to ever go back to a TV show.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that is true. I recall like there was an article. Wait, I do recall an article a while ago stating that like for the foreseeable future, no movie profile character will be having their own show.
Yeah,
they won't be having their own. They won't be popping up on a show for an extended period. Maybe a cameo, but that's it. You know.
I think
they don't want.
I think it'd be, what?
They don't want people to win.
I honestly think they're trying to wait to see how they lay the groundwork out post Secret Wars before they try to commit to anything else.
Gotcha.
But say we do Ms. Marvel too.
Let me this out real about something real quick. It's related to this. I would love to be Aman Vellani's friend. So Amani, I know you're not watching this, but hit me up. We can be the Kevin Feige together.
No, wait. You can be her friend. We should write better comics, okay?
I haven't read her books yet, man.
Oh
I haven't read her books yet. I can't give my opinion on them.
Sadly, not a lot of people
okay.
have, apparently.
They're okay, but it comes...
First, ever comics, I'm not going to give her... I'm not going to give her shit for her first ever comics. Because I know if I wrote a comic, it would not be the best either.
It's not bad. It just, because it's her first, it's instantly one of those... Even though Kamala in the comics is not the same character as the one I play, I'm going to write her how I play. If that makes sense.
She's one of those.
And it kind of hurts an older Kamala comic. It kind of hurts Kamala in the comics because Kamala already moved past that fangirl phase, and she's an older hero than that now. You know what I mean? So I feel like weird regression randomly.
Get to her Kamala's characterization post whatever the fuck they were trying to do with her.
Okay. Let me read the comment that the Red Dagger actor stated, because he's the one who brought this up, right? About season 2 happening. He said, "I don't think so. It's been a long time now. I mean, I would love to. I was supposed to make appearances in other things, but it didn't end up working out. Some logistical stuff and COVID stuff, and I think also creative stuff."
What the hell else was he supposed to appear in?
Probably Champions or Young Avengers, whatever, man. Like, you know. I don't know. I think another caveat to this.
In the Marvels, but I don't think with the way the Marvels turned out, probably not.
Yeah, I think another caveat to this is because like the whole rebranding strategy behind what they want to do with Miss Marvel. Because remember, she's the byproduct of through no fault of her own, two failing IPs, that being Captain Marvel and the other being Inhumans, which is why they're now pushing hard on her being a mutant. Because,
Oh
like,
yeah,
you
so
I
know,
still
they
think that's one
probably
of
will
the
want to
worst
wait until the
decisions
X-Men
Marvel has
come over
ever
here.
made.
I
They
know.
probably will want to wait till the X-Men finally make it
Yeah.
here before they do anything with her, since they already confirmed she's a mutant in this timeline.
Yeah.
As well.
Yep. I mean,
I still
it's
think
a
that's one
card
of the
sweep.
worst decisions they have ever
Yeah.
made in their entire fucking lives.
It
I
was
think it could have
it's
worked
a
if
hand
they
you're
didn't do
dealt.
what they're doing
You
now,
know.
where they're trying to like rewrite her history. Because she's always been X-Men. Everything she ever did has been inspired by X-Men and stuff like that.
Well,
If you want her
we'll,
to just
ex-
be an X-Men,
we'll
you know
talk
that
about that when
you could have worked with that. Oh yeah, we'll talk
yeah,
about that.
we'll talk about that comic when we get to that topic.
I don't
But
know why.
yeah,
Yeah.
you remember how like Disney made an announcement? I think it was Tom Brevoort who made the announcement saying that like modern day comics are being written with the idea that they're going to be adapted into the MCU, right?
Yeah.
In Kamala Khan's story, a lot of it was heavily inspired by, of course, her Inhuman legacy and her fandom for Captain Marvel. Those two IPs, don't hold your breath on those being touched upon much in the foreseeable future of the MCU. So,
Well, they still
but
have
what
to
is
make
going
Captain Marvel stuff because they need to keep the IP of the name, or else DC gets it back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can do that in just with comics and not movies.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yep.
we're probably still gonna see her around. I don't know what the fuck she's doing, but we're probably gonna see her.
Realistically,
you have to wait.
I think the
Yeah.
whole reason they're even redoing all the X-Men stuff with Kamala is just so when they do those events with the X-Men, Kamala has a reason to be there.
Pretty much, exactly. Yeah. So you
Oh,
can't
Dark
really
Phoenix, look, Kamala was there, so there she's there in the movie. You get it? Cryptid
Yep. So
Giant
pretty much.
X-Men number 3. Thank you.
So pretty much you can't do the stories of like her first 75 issues audience because they didn't really have anything to do with the X-Men. So yeah. Oh, mark my words, right? When she gets her new costume, there was a point in Kamala's history, I think it was Solomon Ahmed who wrote this, where she gets this like her own version of a symbiote costume. It's a techno
Yeah,
organic costume or that.
yeah.
Yeah, it was created by the Kree. It wouldn't surprise me if when we do see it in the MCU, it's going to be created by the Shi'ar instead.
Fuck the Shi'ar.
Yeah, I know. It's just one of those minor things that you're going to push
To
forward.
be fair,
You should kill Charles.
To be fair, what Captain Marvel really fucked over most of the Kree and scroll stuff anyway. So
Yeah.
I would have probably wouldn't even wanted to be made by the Kree at this point.
Yeah.
Here's my thing. Since they didn't choose to start off with Marvel, regardless if Marvel was gender bended or not, I think that actually kind of hurt what they wanted to do with the Kree. Because part of the reason why we got Captain Marvel like story, like part of Marvel's original story, was for him to defect from the Kree Empire because he noticed what was happening with how they're like treating Earth and all this other stuff, and he was like, fuck that. So for them to not even start off with Monica but started off with Carol really did hurt that whole timeline.
To be fair, they did try to attempt that storyline with the female Marvel still saying fuck these guys for treating Earth
but
like
it doesn't
this.
work if Marvel is like the most major of major side characters. Nick Fury had a bigger part. The Cat had a bigger part than Marvel.
No, fuck that cat. Okay, we'll talk about that cat. The cat's not real.
All of this, man.
I like Cat's audience, but I could say bury that whatever that.
Yeah, no, that movie
was,
made a lot of mistakes.
They made Marvel such a minor character that it just shocks me that she was even here in the first place.
It was almost agree. It was almost like they changed the casting at the last minute, right, audience? You know?
I don't know. Like, I would have lived if Marvel was still gender bended, but it's like, what the fuck? You know damn well Marvel has such a big importance to Carol's fucking backstory that since they did this shit, it pisses me the fuck off.
It's just weird because like y'all respect them enough to have him be one of the few characters that stay dead full on. And then the first time for him to appear in a movie, you just say fuck his whole story, basically? Because
No,
girl power?
literally, and it's like, even if I wasn't a Marvel fan, at least I would know that if I was a Captain Marvel stan. And it's like, I know Marvel gets done dirty because, he's been dead for almost 50 years. But it's like, come on, dude. Put some fucking respect on his name, and you should have given him a bigger fucking part. Like, at the scene at the end of Captain Marvel, where the the Supreme Intelligence or whatever the fuck it's called took on the form of Marvel, it made no sense. It should have been like Maria. Or literally anyone else. It could have been Fury, and it would have made 10 times more sense. What?
Exactly.
Like, it was just a spit on Marvel's fucking grave, man. His space grave. Because, like, what the fuck were they doing? Like,
I wanted to be young Rog.
Dude, everyone was like, Jude Law is going to be playing Marvel, which I would have been, like, chill with, even though I would have preferred him to be a nice, beautiful blonde. But you know what? It's fine. So, like, I don't know. It's just, like, that really pisses me off about the original Captain Marvel movie. It's just how they treated Marvel. Like, I would have survived with the gender bending, to be honest with you. And you're telling me we didn't get Marvel as a Captain Marvel until What If? Are you fucking kidding me?
Did we?
Fuck What If.
When the hell we do that?
It was the episode where Peter Quill was basically Dr.
Where
Manhattan.
his dad picked him up early as a kid instead of...
Where Yondu gave Quill to his dad.
There was a male Marvel in that?
Marvel was in it as Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you're right. I remember that.
That was also when Hank Pym was still, Ant-Man.
I remember that. The little girl found its weapon in the lab, let him out of jail.
That was Nadia.
Pisses me the fuck off. It's just like, you knew Carol's backstory one Google search away. And you're telling me that you couldn't give Marvel a bigger part?
Okay, guys. Before we get too on topic, like, we do have a time limit, so any final thoughts?
I'm gonna continue this rant online. Stay tuned, audience.
Gotcha. All right, so you guys ready to move on?
Yes, please.
Gotcha. Jake, you've been silent. You announce this one, dude.
Oh, hell yeah.
Jake.
Yeah, what's up? Whoa.
Announce this topic.
What is it?
Look at that picture. You don't know who that is?
Come on, dude.
I can tell who that is.
He-Man does some shit. It's He-Man.
This is we get the first look at.
They did exactly what we said they were going to do when Crit was saying they weren't going to do it. Where Prince Adam, He-Man is the same nigga.
Oh boy. Okay, so it looks like they traded his what was supposed to be like an underwear, but now it looks like boxers for boxers.
Let me get a closer look at this. My phone's kind of far away.
Don't try to zoom in on the man boxers.
They're pulling a Namor.
Yeah. Okay, audience, if we could deal with...
He's so small.
Okay, this is, again, unrealistic body standards when it came to He-Man. It will be impossible to find somebody who could have that sort of body.
You can get someone who's built.
Yeah. Which, you need to get a bodybuilder, dude, and not many bodybuilders are actors.
Yeah, you could probably find some, dude. They exist.
No.
You just don't have any.
Oh, go ahead.
Or you change up his costume a little bit and get. That's practical ways to make him look like he's more muscle.
Can I say something real quick? Can I say something about this? I have a poster on my wall that is a crossover, and you don't give me an about it. Just let me finish this, okay? Where it was a crossover between He-Man and X-Men characters, where North Star is He-Man, and he has more muscle than this version of He-Man so far.
Oh my god.
He has more muscle on that poster than this He-Man back shot, okay?
Yeah.
But man,
I'm telling you, look, if me and Witch go into this movie, and they act like they can't tell it's the same guy, same haircut, same build, I'm giving it a 0.
Oh god. All right. Let's just.
If you're not gonna try, I'm not gonna try. Okay.
Hey, there's the Superman
defense.
defense.
I will give it a try, but if it disappoints me,
he's not even changing glasses, bro. He's just ripping off his shirt at this point.
Awesome.
By the power of Grayskull, change your clothes.
y'all could look past like one of the greatest reporters in the whole world, not noticing that the person sitting next to her is Superman. Y'all could live with that. Y'all could live
He
this
wears
He-Man
glasses.
situation.
He changes.
Oh, no,
his...
to be fair, I am not a Lois Lane fan.
Yeah. But she is the greatest reporter in the DC Earth.
She's also
That's
very
why I
suicidal. Okay, I don't support that.
Like,
Hey,
so she
that's how
couldn't
she
find
became the
out.
greatest reporter.
Mhm. Okay, but as far as He-Man's muscles go, again, I was bracing this because, like, look, let me bring up an example. Kingpin, right? Again,
Hmm.
Kingpin supposed to have like fat that muscles that look like fat, but there's no way you could get an actor to actually have that sort of body, and that's where he had Vincent D'Onofrio, right? And he still plays a pretty good dang Kingpin at the end of the
But
day.
they still tried with him.
They
They
If you
tried.
look at him in
actually
certain
look
scenes,
like Kingpin a little bit.
yeah, so if you look at him in certain scenes, even the last season, there are
Yeah.
scenes where he's bulkier and he's bigger. Whether
And
it's
we
a camera
haven't.
trick or because he had the bulk suit under his thing. Like, think
Yeah,
about him
and
in Hawkeye. He was huge in Hawkeye.
okay, but like we could get something similar to that in this movie. We haven't seen much of it. Like, dude, we're seeing just a foreshadowing of him right now of He-Man at the
Bro,
moment. Right?
we
Exact
see
We can
enough of
see
his
the
build.
definition.
Yeah.
Regardless, there's a light behind it. We can see the definition.
We
Just
know
wait
he's not
until
going to be
these.
that huge. We know it's not.
Mhm,
They're not going to be a change between him and Adam. That's all I need
mhm.
to judge that thing. So
That's what.
like I said, I
Okay,
don't mind him
Let's see
being
how
regardless
it
of
moves.
how you
small.
feel
I
about
don't mind him being
Revolution,
small. Go ahead,
regardless of how
Wish.
you feel about Revolution, at least there was a major enough difference
Yeah,
on Adam and He-Man. Austin,
like I said, Kurt,
hey, do you want to watch the original He-Man cartoon with me?
one day, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's on the
Like
list.
I said, Kurt, I don't mind him being small. I can put up with that. But if they do the thing where they act like he's not the same guy, he looks exactly the same haircut, all he's doing is a fancy sword lift and changing clothes, I'm not gonna like it.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
You better
realistic.
put that on
How about
Letterboxd.
this?
I swear.
How,
When this movie comes out, you better go on Letterboxd
how about this?
and give that review.
You're joking.
How
Me
about
and
this?
Tony made Letterboxd. We've been judging film.
I should
How about
actually
this?
make a Letterboxd. I think that would be ideal for me.
How
He
about
did it
this,
for
guys?
Predator, Killer, Killers.
Okay. How about this, guys? When he goes He-Man, he gets a deeper voice. Will that sound for you guys? A
I'll
deeper
appreciate it
voice.
because at least they're trying.
Yeah. So, all right, we'll see
I
where this
have a
goes.
Marvel action figure that has more muscle than this fucking He-Man. I'm not kidding.
Yeah, I'm just saying, bro. This is
Guys,
He-Man, bro. This is supposed to be the pinnacle of what a
guys,
man could be, bro.
Masculinity.
look,
Yeah.
guys.
Peak machismo over here. Peak 80s machismo.
He's the male. He's the male
This
dominant
man is
standard.
supposed to
That
look like Conan the Barbarian, and you're telling me that they couldn't give him a little bit more
To
muscle?
be
like
fair,
all.
there's never going to be another Arnold Schwarzenegger, Conan the Barbarian type thing.
Yeah,
To
I'll
be
give you
fair,
that.
guys. To be fair, guys. When I was at Comic-Con last year, I did meet a real life He-Man who had like freaking bowling balls for arms, the thighs, other like tree trunks and that stuff.
That guy
He,
should dress up as Kenshiro from Fist of the North
yeah.
Star.
Yeah, well, he went full on the costume, right? The only thing that was cheesy was his hair, which looked like cardboard, spray painted and that stuff. But other than that, he looked like exactly like He-Man, and you could tell
I
he's a
want,
bodybuilder, So,
I,
right.
I want an SNL skit where Kevin Hart plays Prince Adam, and he does the thing. He turns into the Rock. I think that'd be fun.
Yes, that's what we're talking about.
There you
That's
go.
what we're
There you
talking about, Bestie.
go.
Okay,
Okay,
do you
would be
think? Okay, assuming that this movie does well and we get like a sequel, do you think we're gonna get She-Ra?
She-Ra, from my understanding, the She-Ra licensing is still like messed up, so
yeah,
probably not.
yeah.
But
Too
say
much of a risk for that.
hypothetically, if that wasn't a problem,
Hypothetically, I would have saved her for the third film, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've seen the original He-Man cartoon.
But the first one, for the first one, I did He-Man and Skeletor. For the second one, I probably did something more magic based. And then
maybe
for the third one, when I do Hortav, I would have brought in She-Ra. He kind of became more of a She-Ra villain for a while.
Yeah.
And so having two He-Man level people having to fight this man who's full technology, I think could be interesting for the finale.
Do you know what I need out of this movie? And I know this is weird, but you're gonna have to hear me out. I need sometime during this movie. It could be at the end. I don't mind. they need to do like one of those 80s PSA type of things where they
Yeah.
like post
I want the
credits
same.
something where they
Yep.
cut to like He-Man giving like a PSA about drugs or something.
I want the
Still some
same
stuff-
thing for when G.I. Joe Transformers crossover.
They kind of did that in G.I.
I
Joe's, which
need it.
right?
I need it. Those are iconic as hell.
Which they kind of did that with G.I. Joe too, like where they said, "And knowing is half the battle." Like, you know, they kept mentioning that. Mm-hmm. No. Here's what you're gonna have. You're gonna have Prince Adam in his daytime job being a motivational speaker and having to look directly at the audience as he's talking to a crowd of kids about life lessons. There you go. You know?
And to be fair,
that's lame. We need like a full-on PSA.
I will say I can also get past this if I need to see what Skeletor, Man Beast, and them look like.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Because I can understand they don't want to put that much effort into Adam in the E-Man situation to a degree, but Skeletor and a lot of these villains are very. I'll say they will be very practical, effect based or CGI based. So I kind of need to see them.
Cast Swarm the phone as Skeletor audience. There you go.
I don't know. I just hope this is good. You know, I just hope it's good.
We need more fantasy films in general.
Need something new.
Yep.
We need more fantasy films in general. I can't remember the last one that succeeded, if that makes sense.
I don't know.
Yeah,
but I know this is off topic, but I was telling Cryptid about this earlier, so I'm telling you, Austin. We are getting a Spaceballs sequel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Spaceball sequel with Louis Pullman's father.
Yep. Oh, we just lost Austin for a bit. Hold on
not telling me shit.
Yeah. We're
What's the thing? We're getting a Spaceballs
all
sequel.
movies. Spaceballs.
Yeah. What? Oh yeah.
Yep.
I think it's way too late, man.
They're fucking telling me.
Funny enough, though, they did cast Bob to play with his dad, so I think Bob actor is playing Kylo Ren.
Yeah.
I think that'd be kind of fun.
Austin, remember how long it took for them to make a Space Jam 2? So they can make Spaceballs happen. You know? So.
Well, to be fair, at least this one's the same people. Space Jam 2 didn't make that.
Gotcha.
But no, I hope this is good when it comes out. You know, if this movie's ass, I'm gonna be very annoyed.
Yep.
I'm not saying I'm an OG.
You might have to watch Spaceballs on one of the our movie nights. I never actually finished it.
Yeah. Gotcha.
But I just hope this movie's good, because if it's bad, I'm just gonna be very upset. I'm just gonna be annoyed.
Exactly.
We need more fantasy stuff, man.
Yep. We need the male fantasy to succeed, audience. So.
They always. What are you talking about?
That He-Man is the.
Well, we need We need more non-toxic male power fantasies.
There we go. You should have said that.
All right. So anyway, I guess with that we should move on, guys.
Yeah, if we're not getting that fits with the North Star movie, I need a He-Man.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. So we're moving on to the next one, which is James Gunn comments on Batman's status. Now, this is Austin.
Yeah. So James Gunn admitted that he's not writing the Batman, but he's working with the Batman writer. And then he was saying, like, he doesn't know when it's going to happen, but he's just trying to get the script together. All we know about this Batman is that he's going to be older, and he already has Damian, implying that 3 Robins already exist, maybe even 4.
Yeah.
And I think my problem with him, I think it was my problem with him announcing everything so early when nothing, because he already told us, oh, I greenlit movies when I have the script, but he doesn't have the script for like 90 of these films.
Remember Clayface is supposed to get a TV series audience?
Remember that had a script and then it didn't get, then it got taken away?
Yeah, we still haven't heard anything about like half of these projects that have been announced. Like, what is happening with the Authority movie? What is happening with that?
Yeah, that was brought up earlier. No director, no writer, nothing.
Like, what? Like, can we at least like promote the stuff that are about to come out, or like?
No, go ahead, finish.
No, like, can we just like get anything on the stuff that we're already like set to release soon? Like, I know we're getting Superman stuff, but like, when are the other stuff coming out?
Like why did he announce
to rush on all of these?
Like, why did he announce Wonder Woman when the TV show that's already connected to Wonder Woman, Paradise Lost, hadn't even come out? You don't even have a writer for that. Are you going to rush Wonder Woman in front of that now? Also, Wonder Woman fans don't trust you because you did the Tom King stuff, and then how you treated Cersei, her main villain, in the other show.
Dude,
Hey.
I saw that scene with Cersei, like in that.
And people,
that show. Oh my god, I feel bad.
wait, people
Are
keep
you
trying to use the defense. Oh, she was off guard. He caught her off guard. Yeah, her hands were full of power. She looked to where he was before he even hit the corner, and still got snapped.
Wait, you're talking about Weasel attacking Cersei's awesome?
Yes. What other scene would we be talking about?
I hated it then, and I hate it now. Nothing can change.
Who's one of Wonder Woman's top villains? A cheetah? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, guess what? Cheetah has the power and durability of a goddamn god.
You don't know much about Weasel origins. All right. So.
Yeah, he doesn't have the power of a fucking god. I can tell you that much.
Unless they're telling me this is the dog embodiment of Anubis, I don't want to hear this. I ain't gonna be honest.
He's a third cousin twice removed from Cerberus. How about that?
So my point is, it's not a good look, and it doesn't fill people with confidence.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just
and then wait, I don't know if you saw this, but he already announced. Oh, Superman, he's not getting a sequel. If they teamed up with Batman for something, so now it's like, bro, are you just doing Scott Snyder?
Reminds me of.
Yeah.
Are you just doing Zack Snyder this one?
Yeah, James Gunn, I really want to be defending you, dude. Dude, you're making it so hard.
Fast. He needs to slow down.
Yeah.
You're also not going to convince me that Batman's having his first team up with people, and he's the oldest hero around. Superman has been here for 3 years. The Justice League already exists. Batman's dead now, meeting somebody.
I mean, some writers write Batman as being the one adult in the room anyway, I guess. So
yeah, it felt like he already been involved in all of this.
Mm-hmm.
If Batman's active, and he's been active all this long, he already has the Damian. That means 90% of his villains probably already exist.
Oof.
You tell him Justice League can go to Gotham one time?
I know.
This is coming from me. James, slow the fuck down, dude. You don't have. This is not a race. Like you can take your time.
Mm-hmm.
You're building a cinematic universe. You don't have to go light speed.
Yep.
We have other James Gunn topic stuff here anyway, so we might as well just go to it. He changed Supergirl's name, the movie's name, from Supergirl to Girl Tomorrow. They did Supergirl, and that's so fucking boring. We already have another Supergirl film, so it's like, bro, keep your unique names.
I don't know what the purpose behind that was. So
can you imagine the Amazing Spider-Man just also called Spider-Man, and then we went to Tom Holland Spider-Man and we just called Spider-Man?
Yeah. To be fair,
I'll wash my hands. I'll be out.
Okay, Austin, to be fair, this is Supergirl's first time getting a movie in 30 years or something like that.
I know. So I would have said does Supergirl or something.
As opposed to Spider-Man, who's had multiple different adaptions up to the point of Tom Holland. So yeah. Again, I'm not.
Is it Superman's called the Superman?
Yeah. Okay, you got me there.
But I'm saying even the Batman had his side title at least with the Batman Brave and Bold.
And
to be fair to Batman, he had 19,000 films. But
yeah,
I'm just saying, if we get Wonder Woman and the Authority is just duh.
You guys,
that's kind of boring.
You guys find it funny that we get Supergirl instead of Wonder Woman as the first female DC movie in James Gunn's universe?
I was more concerned that everyone spent their whole life wanting to see Superman versus Lobo, and they gave him to Supergirl instead of one of her own unique villains. For the first movie, at least.
Is he going to be more of a cameo, though?
No, apparently he's the villain, from my understanding.
Oh, jeez. No.
Yeah, so it's it's going to be cool, but
Okay, so Supergirl is going to fight the toxic equivalent of machismo as her main villain.
She's going to be fighting toxic masculinity.
I didn't think of it that way until now.
That's literally what Lobo is probably the peak of that.
Yeah. He's going to be hooking up with Supergirl, this and that, flexing his muscles. I mean, hey, go look at the Superman animated series, audience. You think the way Lobo was acting towards Lois Lane will work today? Hell, no.
I think is interesting though. I do hope they're doing the film work. So people don't know. In some versions of the story, Darkseid gets Supergirl. He wants Supergirl.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of hope Lobo's working for him to bring him a Kryptonian, and he just chose Supergirl.
Yeah.
Because I think that leads to more. Since we're not just doing straight sequels, it just be team ups or whatever. I think that leads to a more interesting sequel.
Okay, Austin, the fact that you brought that up makes me think like, okay, this could have been working into his angle of toxic machismo, right? So you're telling me he'd rather pick a fight with a girl than a Superman?
Very possible.
Yeah.
The first thing the Superman trailer tells you, this is the strongest man on the planet.
Okay, I'm gonna go for rather than fight a man, I'll go fight a girl. Like, dang, dude.
How much you want to bet they're gonna do something where it's like, oh, Superman and Lobo already met a few times. That's why he don't want to mess with Superman.
Oh. Okay, yeah, that could happen, yeah. But we'll see what happens with the audience. So, yeah.
Yeah, he was just like James Gunn was yapping today. He talked about another thing about Batman where people like, oh, why don't you just use Matt Reeves' Batman? He was like, who knows? Maybe Matt Reeves' Batman might be in my universe. Like, don't do that.
Oof. I know. Wow, to have a young Superman coincide with a young Batman audience. Wow, right?
Look, I get why, but I don't want Reeves' Batman specifically.
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine like dealing with the Joker in the same universe where Superman's doing all this in his first film.
Yeah. You just want Matt Reeves' Batman to be his own thing. So
basically.
All right. Okay. So anyway, guys, you guys have any final thoughts on this before we move on?
Not really.
Jake, any thoughts, dude? All right. Well.
He's dead.
Okay. So
I wish they chose a different actress.
Nope.
I like this actress, but I don't know how good she is doing the role. I'll do it. That's just a way to see.
Gotcha. Anyway, let's move on, audience. Go ahead, Austin.
Go ahead, Jake. It's your turn.
What's the topic?
This man sleep.
No, just giant. What am I supposed to say about this? I don't know this. Oh, Kamala Khan's an X-Men now. Congratulations.
Yeah.
She's on the team.
Miss Marvel's name retconned, audience. Explain what happened, Austin. So
I want you to know, Jake. I want you to know personally that your favorite hero, Miss Marvel, said Carol might be cool, but Jean Grey, and that's a marvelous hero.
Oh God!
And that's what her name is inspired by now. Marvel girl, Jean Grey.
Oh my God! How dare you, Kamala?
Don't blame her, blame writers. Blame editorial.
How dare you?
I blame Jake.
I'm blaming editorial.
At this point, you might as well just say the lightning bolt on her costume was inspired by Storm, at audience. You know,
it probably is gonna be like that. It's not even a joke anymore.
We joked about that years ago, but now the joke ain't funny anymore, audience.
Yeah, with them retconning her to be in every major X-Men event. Eventually, because we know they're writing for the MCU now.
Yeah,
this like changed a lot of stuff. But I think it's going to be funny though, watching her switch sides in the movies when it comes to about Carol, because we know Carol's history with the X-Men. Can you imagine her choosing the X-Men over Carol, and then Carol getting attacked by Rogue? That'd be funny as hell.
Okay, to be fair, even in the MCU, it still didn't really make any sense for why Kamala was a super fangirl of Carol.
Bro, she heard Ant-Man talk about it, okay?
That doesn't matter, dude. Like, there are so many active heroes in going on Earth.
There's a literal god on Earth in the MCU.
Yes. Super agent, badass spy, Black Widow, this and that. You know, why specifically did you choose to idolize yourself over Captain Marvel, who only did one thing?
But just imagine it, Cryptid. X-Men, quote-unquote, fake Civil War. Think about it. The fight for Kamala, bro. What side did she pick? If she choose the X-Men over Carol, and then Carol still lose the Rogue and get her powers and shit?
Wow. Wow. No,
Like,
at this point,
that's fucked up.
dude, at this point, you might as well have Rogue, Kamal Khan fangirl over Rogue at that point too, to complete the circle. Haha, like Rogue steals Carol's fangirl, her one and only fangirl, apparently. Like, dang. Well,
Oh yeah,
is
to
anybody
settle this
surprised?
thing, 'cause we talked about it before.
Mm-hmm.
The Kamala's new power is literally
Yeah.
only because they couldn't think of any other power to complement her power.
Wait, what do you mean?
Since they already knew they were going to make her a mutant and they wanted to give her another ability, they could not think of anything else to complement her power.
Ah.
So that's why they were just like, let her keep the same power, but add on this glow that can make hard light shields and stuff. Platforms.
This is them trying to have their cake and eat it too, audience. You know, they want the best of both worlds, but I don't think you're really satisfying any world with this. So, yeah.
Also, shout out to that cat I heard in the background.
Yeah. They tried to use Reed as an excuse, but it was mainly because they were too uncreative to do anything else.
I'm blaming Reed. I'm blaming Reed Richards.
Yeah.
I was wondering, like, why didn't you give her the ability to fly?
Go join Why don't you go join Jake in your We Hate Reed Richards fan club then?
To think about it. She can already like get giant and stuff. We never had a giant flying person. Can you imagine you go to fight Kamala and she just flies 100 feet in the air, turns big, and drops on you?
Oh wow.
That's terrifying.
Yeah. Do y'all want to see that in the MCU audience? Be real. Come on. But okay, at the end of the day, is anybody surprised by this news? I mean, from the first moment we heard that Kamala was going to be popping up and revealed that she was part of X-Men's most historic moments, we all knew that this was the path. This was going to be the end of the road for it. You know, so she's part of mutant history, audience, whether you like it or not. You know,
I think this means. I think they're going to get rid of. I don't think we're getting the Young Avengers stuff in the future.
I hope not.
Because, like, yeah, Young Avengers champions. Because realistically, since they didn't form before Secret Wars, if Secret Wars happens, the X-Men is here, and they want Kamala to be more in tune with the X-Men. The X-Men team probably going to be younger that fit with Kamala. And there's no way she's going to be going back and forth from the X-Men to champions to Young Avengers, wherever the fuck else is going on.
Yeah, whatever young teen heroes they decide to go with, it's neither going to be Young Avengers or Champions at that point, you know? So it's not going to resemble either.
They might well just call each other the Unity Squad.
There you go, you know? Oh, actually, that could kind of work.
They're calling themselves Power Pack.
There you go.
That's actually disrespectful.
So
Unity Squad is a team of random people, mutants and people of different factions.
So yeah, audience, embrace Kamala being the Black Panther of mutant kind. Audience.
Why they even put her in her classic outfit? She wearing the X-Men outfit the whole time during all this.
For marketing reasons, audience. Yeah.
Where the variants at, Krypton?
I know. What do you do?
Why did Charles so bad in this photo? A little bit of this picture. You see Charles like it looked like he's in a dress, bro. Leaned over, holding his face. It looked like Doctor Strange is holding somebody. But I guess that's Jean Grey's mom and dad.
Yeah.
Wolverine's crying. Cyclops not even here. What the fuck?
Oof. Wait. Oh, that doesn't even make sense at all, given Kamal's history with Cyclops.
Because Cyclops is the one who holds her, right? So they replaced her with him.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow, dude. Come on, don't diss Cyclops like that. But, no, you know what? They did. Wait, now I think about it.
Wolverine's trying to cry on Colossus. Colossus like, bro, don't touch me.
Now that I think about it, that does kind of even feel a little bit more weird, the fact that Kamala ended up taking Cyclops' clothes and putting it on herself. Like,
I hated that creepy story, bro. the fact that they just like, oh, now you're an adult Cyclops, you're gonna remember all your little kid memories of this girl.
Mm-hmm. You
He
know,
was a
the
little
girl
kid.
that
He probably had a crush on Kamala then, and then came to the future with that crush. You realize that, right?
that happened in Champions audience. Like Kamala was the closest person in Scott's life on that team. So, and what happens when Kamala meets adult Cyclops after young Cyclops vanishes and it goes back to the timeline? She immediately goes and hugs adult Cyclops.
Yeah, they give
Right.
Cyclops his memories back. He's like, yeah, Kamala was my best friend.
Yep. And then later on,
it makes more sense to be mourning over her death than Peter Parker.
Yep. And later on, what happens after?
The one laying in bed holding her mask like a weirdo.
No, he shouldn't.
No, dude. That,
if you had to choose, if you had to choose between Peter or Scott doing it, who would you pick? Be for real.
Peter.
I'd be worried. Which this
one. You have to pick one.
I'll pick Peter because Scott doesn't need that. He'll do that, and Jean Grey will come in and see him crying like, "You're cheating on me, yeah, aren't you?" I'm like, no.
Which this kind of happened in the comics once. You remember when the Young X-Men were still around? There was like a little there was like a little heartfelt moment between adult Cyclops and young Jean Grey when they were talking in the room, and then afterwards, after when they left, you had Kitty Pryde standing in the corner, looking angry at Cyclops, saying, "From now on, I don't want either of you two alone in a room." Like,
yeah, you guys are gonna do weird things.
Yeah,
with
that's my glorious leader who saved my life more times. You're definitely a pedophile.
So, you and your adult form trying to hook up with your lover who's underage at this point. Like,
There's a lot of bad stuff about that run, man. He exposed Iceman without his permission. Isn't it also the run where she figured out that Beast was always in love with her?
I will give her this about that. At least she did it to him in private instead of like in front of everyone else. I will give her that. But she did say she did kind of out Bobby to himself though, so I will have to document that. People are still making homophobic Jean Grey jokes to this day, and it's been 10 years.
Oh yeah, you know that's never going away. Which it's like the same thing with Scarlet Witch. It's the same thing with Scarlet Witch wiping out a whole race. So it's never leaving her.
Like, and you know what's another funny thing about it? People like to ship Jean Grey and Scarlet Witch.
The fan art is anybody.
The fan art is great.
Nobody's off limits to ships, so.
Nope, even pedos get their ships.
Yep. All right. Wait, Austin's back.
Yeah, but
right, guys.
But wait. But this is also the run where they revealed that Beast was for some reason always in love with her, which was a retcon.
Oh yeah.
This is after you find out what back then, like Xavier was in love with her.
Yeah. But, remember, that's a scene.
Keep in mind, Charles is supposed to be only older than X-Men, but it is still weird.
Yeah.
No.
Again.
No.
This is
no. Originally he was not that old. He was not that older now. Originally, Cyclops, Xavier was not that old. But because he looks like an old man, they started writing him as an old man.
That's what I said. I said he was supposed to be only a few years older than the original Flash.
My bad.
Mm-hmm.
But then they change, and then they make him look like an old man. So I don't know what the fuck. Now, and then Krakoa, he turned into a twink, and now look at him.
Yeah, Xavier got done dirty, but it was still weird. Like all the choices they tried to make.
Remember.
That's only a face that Magneto and Lilandra can love.
Remember, audience, in Bendis' X-Men run, it states that if you don't have a crush on Jean Grey, in that case, you're just not into girls, apparently. So.
Yeah, Bobby.
Mm-hmm. So.
Oh, I'll go on an Iceman hot take later. I'll go on an Iceman rant later, but like.
Okay.
I think it's funny because back then there were panels of Iceman having a crush on her. I think it's funny.
Well, keep in mind, since like the 90s, he's been coded, so. And he was.
I'm not
that down. Like he was hoeing out because of how deep he was pushing that shit down.
Like that, I'm not against him being gay. I just don't guess how they write his book now.
Mm-hmm.
Because they don't want him to be a whore anymore for some reason. Let him be a whore. Yeah. He can still be a gay
if he was the same character and just gay, I don't think there'll be a lot of as much of a problem as the war.
Let him be a gay whore, Marvel. This is my rant for the night. Let him be a gay whore.
You took everything away from him. You make him a generic ice hero.
who just so happens to be gay. Literally in his
Right.
All right, guys. I think we're getting too off topic. So
literally told him that him coming out didn't make him special. Anyways, okay, let's move on.
Okay, let's move on to the next one.
I want you people to know, Undead Iron Fist, the Ghost Fist. We encrypted. Was talking about this. This was announced 2-3 years ago, or teased.
Yeah.
And they waited this long because it doesn't matter. And they expect you to care now that Danny's coming back.
Yeah,
Why they didn't disrespect him for 3 years in a row?
Yeah, I found it so funny when the writer. Yeah, I read the article, right? We read the article, right, audience? The writer was like saying, "Oh my god, and I'm so glad we didn't get backlash from people for killing Danny Rand." Yeah, it's because at that point he was a rotting corpse of an IP long before you killed him off on his anniversary, dude.
Yeah, so for people, just so people know, we don't hate Lin Lai. We hate how he was shoved into a role that he had nothing to do with.
Exactly.
Just to change everything about him. Iron Fist already had a successor, and we get they want them to tell him to be agent, but his successor was already agent. They just threw another character randomly to another IP. This would be the equivalent of like Shuri randomly coming like Power Man.
Oh, that's
because he's black.
That's yeah. And it's not even just that about shoving a character into the IP. It's also doing damage to the IP of the main mantle holder himself, Danny Rand. You know, I just don't understand if Marvel wants to replace Iron Man, why don't you just give Danny Rand a heroic death? You know, a heroic send off.
He died like a bitch. That shit was fucked up.
Audience, I don't understand how you could think killing a character off is a way of celebrating them, because that's what Marvel did.
Yeah, it was the 50th anniversary of Iron Fist.
Yeah,
and he got murdered in like 3 panels.
Yep. From what I recall,
you think Marvel really cares about some of their iconic heroes? No, they fucking don't.
We knew they didn't care about him the moment they said, "Oh, y'all don't like the Iron Fist show." Oh, it must be because he's white. And so we're gonna make him not white.
Yeah. And
not
we're gonna
just push Shang-Chi. We're just gonna make Iron Fist not white.
Yep. And we're gonna also make Danny Rand look pathetic and humiliate him. Yeah, I'm still looking at you, Luke Cage Gang War tie-in, man. That was the worst, most pathetic version of Danny Rand I've ever seen. Luke needs
help. I'm gonna go get him this mech instead of just using it myself to help him.
Yep. I have billions of dollars of resources at my disposal, but I'm gonna go help my friends out with just my bare fists and hands, even though I have no powers anymore. Couldn't bring a staff at least.
You see, which I still know karate. It doesn't matter that this is a robot that not even start taking the story.
Yep, and it doesn't even matter that there are Gundam-sized robots attacking my friends. I'm still gonna come out there with my straightforward kung fu. Like
it was. So this character's been through a lot. He's been dead for about 2-3 years. This was teased in Timeless #1, which is like 2022.
Yeah. Awesome. Let's not also forget what the situation with him and Ultimates, dude. Right?
At least then, he's alive. He's doing something. I still feel like he's going to get a power. He just won't.
He's probably doing better than 616 Danny Rand. Just remember.
Yeah, he's doing a lot better than 616.
But wait. It is weird that you're telling me that, like, you know, Iron Man there is going around giving all the heroes back their powers, but for whatever reason, he's deciding not to give at least a replica of the Iron Fist.
It seems to be that Shang-Chi took it more than Iron Fist. The Iron Man didn't give it to him.
God, dude.
Because remember, the problem here is that Hulk took the natural powers, and now it seems like Shang-Chi got him for the Hulk.
Wow.
So I don't know. Maybe Tony's being an asshole for it.
Man, I do look in YouTube and like what's causing commotion in the weeks when I make the topic lists and that. I've seen nobody really talk about Danny Rand coming back at this point, unless you all have seen any commotion.
It's because Lin Lai's in the Marvel Rivals. Now people are like, oh, this is Iron Fist. This is what people, the guy that people like, right? This Iron Fist.
I don't care how many. I don't care how many people are liking Lin Lai in Marvel Rivals. Those people are not the ones who went and bought Lin Lai's book as Iron Fist when he was coming out. If that book sold, audience, you damn well would be sure that they would have continued his journey and not wait like a full year or two to like say, okay, maybe we should continue Lin Lai's journey as an Iron Fist. Nope, he had
And
5
that's my
issues.
main problem. They did all that to replace Danny. Then the dude got 5 issues, the book got canceled, and that was it. Y'all did at least like with Miss Marvel and like Captain Marvel stuff. These books aren't selling. They just shove them down your throat at least, so it looks like they're trying to make them sell. Y'all didn't even try with this push.
Yeah, Austin, as I recall, during the 50th anniversary of his celebration, right, they established like this boogeyman or whatever is out killing the Iron Fist.
To be fair, that's been consistent. That's always been a thing.
Okay, but no,
most Iron Fists died at like 25 or something.
Yeah, but the reason I'm bringing that up, right? Okay, so it established why Danny Rand had to die in that issue, but it was also there to up the importance of Lin Lai, because after Danny Rand dies, in that case, that boogeyman character is going to go after the next Iron Fist. But it's been it's been over a year at this point since that anniversary issue came out, and we've seen nothing.
To be fair, he can't go after him yet. It has to be when he reaches her age.
But you would think at least
it's dumb, but it was introduced as like why there weren't Iron Fists before Danny Rand became Iron Fist. Like why he didn't learn from someone to get the power.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Did anybody have a moment to mourn Danny dying? I mean, Luke Cage,
we didn't see anyone reaction. I don't think anyone knows.
Wow. It's been over a year at this point, dude.
You know Marvel timelines work different.
But still, though, dude, like Luke Cage, of all people, you're not affected at the least that your best bro died. Wow. The man who you named your child after, Daniela Cage, he's dead and you don't even give a damn. Yeah, this is why I'm saying, audience, like, Marvel really did serious damage to the IP.
Shout out to Luke Cage's daughter, though. She becomes a very decent
Captain America.
America.
Yeah, 20XX. Yeah, she was okay. She was awesome. I wish they did more of her, you know?
Yeah.
Oh,
bro, there's a lot of 2099 stuff that I want them to do, but they're not doing it.
She's not 2099.
She's
Captain America 20XX.
Yeah, she's the one right before 2019. She passes the title to 2019.
Regardless. In the future stuff, there are stuff I want they're not doing.
Gotcha. But,
to be hanging
I'm still mad that Marvel introduced the next Avengers into the comics for one panel and didn't do anything with them.
I think that might be just some marketing reasons why, they have their fan base, but for whatever reason, the comics just doesn't want to explore them,
That's the only time I was okay with them giving Thor a daughter instead of a son at the time.
Yep. But all right then, as a closing statement to this,
I hate this outfit, bro.
Dude, he looks.
The mask is okay. I don't like the shoulder thing.
I think I would like it. I just don't. I don't like the mask. I don't mind the shoulder thing. I just don't like the mask. It's you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of Zemo's like face mask thing.
That's why I like it.
To be honest, I'm like getting Clan sort of vibes with this mask. I don't know why.
That's it. I just ditch the mask, ditch the flowy part of the mask, and then just make it a half mask, and then I'll.
Dude, how much you guys want to bet that the reason he has a mask on is because his face is zombified? That's gonna be Marvel's
most likely.
Yeah,
he's probably gonna be the villain for a while.
Oh, that's going to be Marvel's way of saying, okay, y'all hated the fact that we white-faced Iron Fist? Okay, well, his face ain't white anymore. We'll make sure of that. Yes. There. Are you happy? Are you happy are the 30 people who were complaining?
Too much into this right now.
Yeah.
I know.
Well, we don't have one more topic. It's okay.
Yeah. Well, I ain't picking this up, audience,
Just pirate it. Just pirate it.
I'll pick it up. Just because I want Danny Rand to do something, but I'm not going to enjoy picking it up.
Yeah.
Imagine if
I
it looked good.
Well, if it's good, we'll admit it's good. Which let's put it
Yeah.
that way. So.
Like I said, I don't
Right.
hate Lynn Wyatt, so if it's a good book, I'm gonna give it credit. Because I hate the situation we're in.
Yeah. So, all right, then, audience. I guess with that, let's move on to the last topic of the night. Jake, do the honors.
Ew, I hate the picture.
Danny what? Oh,
Donny
Donny Cates comments on Spider-Man.
My
Okay.
best friend can't read, bro. I'm very concerned.
Okay.
Do not name your child after Jake, okay?
No.
I better
Jake
not see
Cates.
Jake, that's right.
Gotcha. Okay, go ahead, Austin. Talk about what happened.
Yeah. So. Oh, my bad. Shit. Caught me off guard for some reason. Jake introduced it.
Yeah.
All right. So he gave his comments about
something.
Uh-oh.
Talk about something.
Okay, so bottom line is somebody messaged
No.
DM.
Oh,
Awesome, dear. Okay.
I tried
cut
to
out for
exit the thing so I can see the article at the same time, but it won't let me.
Oh, okay.
But
No problem.
it was mainly just talking about Donny Cates, his original run, Ultimate Spider-Man. Now he was talking about how he was gonna have Peter suffering, and people were like, "What? Peter has enough suffering," but he was like, "No, suffering as a dad trying to be a hero is a lot different from the regular suffering Peter goes through."
Yeah.
And I kind of agree with him. Because Jake will tell you himself, he doesn't enjoy Ultimate Spider-Man because I won't say the results aren't really realistic, but the consequences aren't. Because Peter can fuck up in any way possible, and everyone just kind of accepts it and moves on. His whole family had to move because he got his identity leaked. And he was kidnapped from us, and everyone just like, yeah, this fun. We're just staying over here now. That's how it's not should be. They're not even talking about Ultimate Incursions right now, where the Camp is writing up the characters, and they're not even acting in character anymore.
Right.
But everything he said, I kind of agree with. Peter being adult already and then becoming Spider-Man should have had different problems and different situations. And while Ultimate Spider-Man does some of that well, it doesn't pick up the consequences as well as Donny Cates probably would have.
Oh. I mean,
like every time Peter loses, he wins. You know what I mean? Like, oh, we get beat up by Kingpin, we almost die. We just go home. Next time we fight, I get a W. Oh,